Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Original Series rewatch and recap podcast, where every week myself, Adam Ordal Quinnell, and my intrepid co-host...
Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Al Hirt here. What's up?
Mr. Al Hirt. I'll tell you what's up. We are going to discuss the season 3 finale / series finale of Star Trek The Original Series. Ain't that something?
2 years.
It seems just like a couple years ago I got COVID and decided we should make a podcast about Star Trek The Original Series, and here we are. In fact, I'm pulling up our podcast in iTunes to see what episode number. So this is... Oh, it doesn't even... Wait. Hold on. It should say how many episodes there are, right? I gotta scroll to the bottom.
I think, ever since we were both just interested in Star Trek and we never really checked out the original series, figured we should go through all of them. The movies, though, God, the movies were like very wide, eye-opening.
Yeah, dude, it was great. I love
missile thing.
But I think we're probably gonna do a season recap episode on its own, because I'm trying to think about, like, so we're gonna do Next Generation, but I don't want to start that until like next February or March or whatever. I want to have time to upgrade some stuff and get things sound a little better. Yeah, and see if the world is still here.
Right.
And so we'll do like a recap episode for the season. We'll talk about Generations. And you and I will talk about this stuff off mic, but I was thinking maybe we could do like bi-weekly bonuses until or something, just to keep things going. But at any rate, this is we've been this is like I think episode 90-ish of the podcast. But I'm getting ahead of ourselves. Every week, we get an undisclosed location off Auto Row, and we chat about an episode of Star Trek The Original Series. And each week, we start with a segment called What Does Al Remember About Last Week's Episode?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so what do you remember do you remember the title of last week's episode first?
Oh, wait. No, I do. It's All Our Yesteryears.
All our yesterdays.
Okay.
Yesteryears. That's funny.
Yesteryears. I just thought the two Y's. But yesterdays, yes. So basically, they're flying around out there, the Enterprise. They find a planet, right? Where like some sun's going to go supernova. And they're like, oh, we got to warn them. And then they're like, wait, there's no life on this planet. That's so weird. So then Kirk, Spock, and Bones all land. And it's like this weird library, and they're like flipping through some knowledge or whatever, and some old guy librarian is like helping them out. And then he has like robots, replicants, and stuff. And they're like, whoa, how'd you get around so fast? And he's like, oh, that's just my robot self-clone thing. And then they're all
Replicon.
Different histories. And Kirk ends up going through this tunnel and going to, I guess, like, what? Pirate times?
That's right. We called it Pirate Times.
And then for some reason, Spock was like, or Bones was like, oh, the Ice Age, that'd be pretty interesting. And they both end up, Spock and Bones end up going to the Ice Age.
They're looking at videos of various times in this planet's history.
And it's through that little library thing.
Yes. And then Kirk...
he hears someone screaming.
He hears someone screaming in the past, like a woman being assaulted, and he runs through a door, and a special effect zaps him to Pirate Times. And then Spock and Bones follow, and they go to Ice Age times. But I don't fucking understand how it works, because, like, does the door just send you to the thing you looked at, or does it send you to the place that's on the main disc? Like, I don't get it. But
the whole twist.
Continue.
Was that the planet was empty because like they just sent all of them through different times, I guess.
Yeah, so they evacuated the planet to the past.
Unquote. Yeah, and so then Kirk was like, wait, so they all left? And he goes, and the librarian guy goes, well, yeah, relatively. They all left. They were all safe. They all went where they wanted to go.
Except for the prisoners.
Yeah, seriously, the prisoners were fucked, though.
The prisoners got sent to the Ice Age.
But the reason why the Enterprise crew was able to get back was because I guess their bodies weren't prepared to go to that time.
Yes.
Their cells or something. And that's why, like, they were going to die there or something if they stayed too long. I don't know. But it was funny because basically the reach around, the solution was just basically to go back into the door where they came from.
Yeah, just walk through the wall.
Right.
And then you're
Where
back.
they just came from.
And then you're back.
And I was just like, wow, okay. I guess the interesting part was Spock losing his mind. Bones trying to calm him down.
Because Spock became he turned into a primitive Vulcan.
Yes.
But Bones didn't turn into a Neanderthal. Well, I guess 5,000 years isn't much. We looked like the pieces of shit we are now 5,000 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was just, I don't know. It was an interesting episode. It was just very one-lined. I guess the split up was with Kirk and then Spock. I guess you thought what was really interesting was the way that chick kind of lied to Spock.
Yeah, she was like, you can't get back. And then she was like, I don't know if maybe you can get back. Yeah, you got me.
I don't know.
Nah, you got me.
Yeah, and then she was like, I'll miss you. And Spock's like, okay, I don't care, bye. And Bones is like, what about your girl, man? Don't you care? And Spock's like, it's been 5,000 years. She's probably dead under the planet.
Oh, yeah.
Ice cap or something.
We can't take you back because you were prepared to go to the past, man.
So then they zoom away and they zip zap out of there.
Zip zap zop, and then they're back in the present. And the librarian, is like, he evacuates to the past where his family is.
Oh, that's nice.
Now here's what I don't understand: you can't evacuate everybody to the past. Because then eventually they're the present, right?
Are their forefathers? Are their sons?
Are they their own? That's what I'm saying. We didn't cover it last week, but it's kind of fucked up. So you evacuate to the past. What if you evacuated to 500 years ago or whatever, like Kirk did, pirate times, and then you just lived and have kids and shit.
God, that would suck.
But then they all grow up, and then
they see you.
Yeah, dude. I don't. It's bad time travel science, I think. But it was a good episode. It was good.
It was entertaining. Yeah,
We've had a good run of season 3 episodes lately.
At the end, because the beginning was oof.
There were some bad ones, and we'll discuss those in the season recap. But that is Al's What Does Al Remember from last week's episode for all our yesterdays. It was good. Yeah. And then this week, we're discussing the season 1 finale of Star Trek, the original series.
Fascinating.
Of the season 3?
Of season 3. Oh, the series finale is what I meant to say. Yes, the series finale / season 3 finale of Star Trek, the original series. And the episode title is Turnabout Intruder. Oh, okay. Now, this episode aired on June 3rd, 1969, which is 2 months after the last episode aired. So it's imagine a TV season, you watch an episode in May or April or whatever, and then there's not another episode till mid-June. That was they were throwing that episode away.
Yeah.
And then you start to read about they didn't do series finales back then, really. And then also they didn't really know it was going to be the series finale, so it's just a more regular ass episode of Star Trek. Mm-hmm. And I saw one thing on IMDb that was in the digitally remastered versions, which are the ones we watch on Paramount Plus for the show. In the digitally remastered version, it shows the Enterprise flying away from a planet to symbolize the end of the series. It's I don't know. I think they're just flying away from a fucking planet like they do at the end of every episode.
Yeah, at the end of the episode.
And
the series.
The synopsis from Paramount Plus is... A woman from Kirk's past exchanges bodies with him and takes control of the ship.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's what happens. And so away we go. Beautiful. I love when they do ringed planets. This episode opens with the Enterprise orbiting a ringed planet. They've received a distress call, as is often the case. A lot of distress in space, as we've discussed. And there's a distress call from a scientific expedition, and there's like a half a dozen people or something, and there's only 2 survivors.
Oh, yes, Dr. Coleman, and then Dr. Lester.
Dr. Lester, who we kind of find out right away Kirk has a past with.
Yeah, they got beef.
Well, yes, they both got beef from each other at one point. Like
baggage. It's complicated.
They both got schlonged, as President Trump said. So they're Camus 2. The leader of the mission is all fucked up from mystery radiation. Kirk says to, and they say you must remain absolutely quiet to her. Like, your radiation sickness, you have to shut the fuck up. Like, I don't understand that.
The radiation would spread more if you just be quiet.
And she says, I hoped I would have seen you again. The only time I felt alive was with you at the academy. It's not fair that women can't be captains.
Yeah, and right off the get-go, you can see a motive right there.
Well, fair.
Being pissed.
And, she's fucked up. I mean, it's fucked up. She's right. Like,
she is right.
Discovery kind of rights that wrong by Burnham. They have lady captains in Discovery, which takes place before this. Mm-hmm. Discovery takes place in the age of Pike.
Yes.
And then Kirk and Dr. Lester have this back and forth where he's like, it never would have worked out between us, and etc.
Like, man, we're fire, man. We make fire. We're just gonna burn the whole world.
Yeah,
like a we hurt each other kind of deal.
Yeah, dude, and for all we know, they were together for a few months. Yeah, he probably was, but like, she also seems fucking nuts. Like, I'm not trying to be misogynistic or anything, but they definitely like painted her to be like a crazy, unstable woman.
Oh,
like,
no.
She's got the hormones that make her want to fucking kill.
Oh no,
she's got the murder hormones instead of murder hornets. So Kirk, this is kind of funny. Kirk is like walking away from her while they're talking, and he's like, shh. You have to shut up because of your radiation sickness. And then
zone out.
He walks up onto this little raised stone table.
Yeah, it looks like a weird art mural.
Yep. And then she goes, aha, and she takes her blanket off, and she has a garage door opener, and she presses this garage door opener, and then Kirk is frozen. He stops and turns like he looks like an action figure in a blister pack.
Yeah.
And then she gets up on the pad next to him, pushes a button, and then they freaky fucking Friday.
Yeah, we see this interesting, weird, like rose superimposed shot of their bodies kind of swap places.
Oh, we got to
visually, obviously represent that fuckery that's happening. It reminded me of like that spaceship where there was a portal to dimensions.
Yes,
the blue stuff.
Yes,
it was like, it's some freaky stuff. I do like.
Yes, yeah, they're good. And then we have the intro. Mm-hmm. And then after the intro, we cut back to Kirk, clearly with a woman's essence inside of his body. He's talking it's just so funny because like he doesn't really like sashay around or anything. No. Like he's like, I'm a woman in here, but he does little things that are like
seems a little exaggerated.
That's what you think women are like, motherfucker. Like
it's a little silly.
Oh, is it a little silly? I think it's pretty fucking silly, dog.
I mean, just to pull it off though, I was just telling you, Adam, earlier, I was like, it is a dumb plot, but like they have to really act their ass off to make this work, because it's like it's Kirk not being Kirk and thinking about things that he would do pretending to be Kirk.
And Sandra Smith, the actress who plays Janice Lester, she does a great job of playing Kirk in a woman.
Yeah, she's just like, oh.
And I have to mention this. When Janice is in Kirk's body at first, he's talking to the Kirk who's in the lady body, and Dr. Lester in Kirk's body says, I already have your physical strength. And then she like pulls a scarf off of the paralyzed lady's neck, and it's like, that's what you needed your strength for, pulling that fucking scarf off.
Yeah, and he goes, now you know the indignity of being a woman, and it's like, oof, what the hell?
Again, she's got a legitimate gripe to some degree.
Dark.
And then he strangles her.
Yeah, and he's like, for me, believe me, it's better to be dead than to be a lonely woman. And I was like,
to live alone in the body of a woman. Oh man.
Oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah, this episode is not modern.
And he tries to choke her, and then all of a sudden
with the scarf.
With the scarf, with his, with the strength that he just acquired.
Superman, like man strength. Yes, he's got that man strength.
And then all of a sudden he hears a noise, and everybody comes back in. Coleman, Bones, and Spock. And this is a really funny bit because you kind of see Coleman like look over. And
he's like, did she get him to walk up on the pad? What? And honestly, what luck? Well, look, that never would have worked out. That never would have worked out if Kirk hadn't just stepped up onto that pad. Like, I wonder what this is.
Yeah, just pulled up a chair,
and she'd have been like, "Hey, why don't you go check out that pad over there, Kirk?" And so then Coleman walks over to Dr. Lester and says, "Dr. Lester is near death." And Kirk says, perhaps it's the shock of finding out what happened to her. She woke up and she was like, I'm going to die. And then she fucking passed out. And now Bones is like, well, we got to get her up to the ship so we can treat her. And of course, Kirk is like, I was kind of hoping you wouldn't suggest that. But of course.
Yeah, that's the greatest part too, is just that like Starfleet or, Kirk's crew is just so rigorous and by the book that like all these villains are so frustrated about all these loopholes that all this procedure they have to go through.
And it's funny because she talks about how I've studied the Enterprise will finally pay off when I am pretending to be its captain. and so she's got to convince the people who are closest to Kirk, right? So the first thing, he's talking to Dr. McCoy about how him and Janice dated, and he was like, I didn't like how we broke up, and Bones is like, you were young, and he was like, youth doesn't excuse everything. Like, she's like inside Kirk going, actually, he was a real piece of shit.
He's like really putting himself down, and Bones is like, all right, dude, it was in the past. Like, you're good.
Yep. And then he fools Scotty. And then we cut to Janice's body thrashing around in a bed being watched over by Dr. Coleman. And then Kirk Janice comes in, and here we go. They just lay it out. He says, Coleman says, look, you killed the staff.
Yeah, he led them through a terrible experiment.
Yeah, you sent them to where the selenium is weakest, and then they all got radiation poisoning. And then he's like, and she goes, he goes, you killed all them. Why couldn't you kill this guy inside your body? And he's like, is it because you still love him? And she's like, I love the life he had. And then she says, you kill him. And he goes, no, I already did everything else. I'm not going to fucking kill him.
She goes, no, but you are a murderer.
Yeah.
Because you knew they were all sick. And you didn't cure him for it. So by de facto, you're a murderer many times over.
We are both murderers, basically, all right?
Seriously. It was so weird, though, because McColeman's like, I gave you so much time. Like, just choke her. It's just awkward.
You couldn't choke her to death on the planet, you fucking asshole. And so basically Bones and Coleman and Kirk with Janice's spirit in his body are going back and forth, and then Coleman is like, actually, I am going to be the doctor here. And Kirk goes, good idea, you're going to be in charge of her care. And Bones is like, you can't do it. And they go back and forth, and this is where I think Bones gets the first kind of hint that shit might be fucked up.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I'm technically, I'm in charge of being the doctor on the ship.
I'm the doctor on the ship, even if you're not the captain, motherfucker.
Yeah, I have to do my job regardless of what you say.
And he's also, like, Kirk's like, log a fucking complaint then, bitch.
And Kirk's excuse, too, is like, well, Coleman's been with this patient for longer.
He understands. He killed 4 men with this same radiation poison. He knows what he's doing, killing people with the radiation. And then while they're all arguing about Bones being dismissed from her care in his own ship where he's the chief medical officer, the injustice, the indignity.
Yeah,
Then
seriously.
Janice's body wakes up with Kirk inside, and Kirk is immediately like, give her a sedative. Or no, Coleman says, we have to give her a sedative. And Bones is like, don't give her a sedative. Let her wake up and fucking see how she's doing. Like,
see if she could explain any of this.
Yeah, let her wake up. Ask her a question, you know? And then he's like, no. Then they make Nurse Chapel give her a sedative against Bones' instructions.
And Bones pretty much just gives up and is like, just do your job.
Yeah, he takes off. No, well,
Like
yeah.
he tells Nurse Chapel to do your job.
Well, see, yes, and I couldn't
just listen to him.
I had to watch that a couple times because I couldn't tell if he was saying follow your instructions like from me or follow your orders from Kirk.
I think it was from Kurt.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
And then Kirk, with this Janet broad inside of his body, walks onto the Enterprise, and you could tell she's stoked. She's like, finally. And then she goes, these will be the people I have to convince the most, the people who work with Kirk all the time. And then she's like, Chekhov. And then she's like proving that she kind of knows what's going on. Mm-hmm. And then
she like molests the chair too.
Yes, she fingers
the bridge.
She fingers the chair. And
yes, this is the first hint though. They're going to another planet and they want to derail because I forgot why, but
so here's what's going on, right? He's saying we have to go to this place that's 2 days away to treat the patient, and Spock is saying no. That's actually, we don't have to do that. That means turning around, and there's actually a starbase on the way to our next location where we can. And then
next mission, and that Starbase has plenty of like medical resources and stuff too. And that, what's the thing is that they can't backtrack. But then Kirk's excuse is like, but if we go through Starbase and chill, that'll take too long. But he's like, no, I'm telling you that you'll be backtracking. So I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
I love it whenever fake Kirk argues with one of the crew, he's clearly fucking wrong. And it's just like, dude. And then he's like, well, we can't help her if they can't help her if she's dead, and it would take too long to get to the starbase. So let's just increase our speed and head to the place where we're gonna go.
Yeah, and Spock's like, should we let Starfleet know about our change of plans? And Kirk's like, fuck that shit.
Right? Yeah, Starfleet will need, because they're gonna miss their rendezvous with the starship Potemkin.
Because that's another mission that they're working on. Yeah.
And this fake Kirk didn't know that because it's recent. Yeah. So
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Kirk's just fucking fight. He's basically being all blustery to try and throw Spock off his trail. Mm-hmm. But when he does, that makes him look even more suspicious.
Yeah, he just looks really erratic and just is saying, increase the speed. And he just walks off the bridge.
And then Spock is like raises his big Spock eyebrows, like, this seems kind of weird. He might have like a lady in his body or something. Might have some kind of Freaky Friday situation here on the old Starship Enterprise. And then it cuts to Bones and Kirk talking about this Dr. Coleman business, and Kirk is filing his fucking nails.
Oh yeah,
like Jesus Christ, dude! You might as well have just had it. I think it'd be funny. Bones walks in, Kirk's got fucking rollers in his hair, like curlers in his hair and shit.
He's getting a mani-pedi.
Yep, and then Bones checks on Dr. Coleman. He checks in with Starfleet, and Dr. Coleman is a fucking asshole. He's been fired from every position he's had, and flagrant medical blunders. And Kirk's like, people make mistakes, and he's like, no, he like chopped somebody's fucking head off. Like he sucks.
Yeah, and Bones is like, he killed the other crewmates. Like if he knew that this was surreal, like he's already kind of thinking about that too. I'm sure.
Yep. And Kirk pushes back. I appreciate the fact that you had to make a decision, Bones says. I also find myself in a position now, Jim, and I'm asking you to report for an examination. Boom, there it is. He's taking his. That's what Bones does. When Bones suspects there's something wrong with the captain of a disease, he's like, you're gonna get an examination, dang it. And that's what he every time.
Like, why? What's going on?
Right?
Bones just immediately is like, you're acting erratic. You've been strange ever since you left the planet. And I mean, this is probably a nice part that like no captain is too powerful for the crew because, like, he was just saying by Starfleet procedure, like, we got to make sure you're okay.
Right?
You know?
And we know, and he's like, and I know you're into Starfleet procedure, right? You don't have an evil lady in your body, do you?
Yeah, why? What do you have to lose if nothing's wrong with you?
Right? And then Starfleet's on the horn saying, we need additional details about the delays, right? And so then he's got to go deal with that. And then fucking Dr. Lester wakes up, and it's like clearly Kirk inside a woman's body.
Yeah,
like she's talking more like Kirk than herself. And then she meets Coleman. Everybody wants her to shut up. Quiet would be best for you. And then
and he's just trying to explain why
he's trying to gaslight her.
Oh, for sure.
And that's the other thing, because he knows the body switch happened, right? But he's just gaslighting her, like, no, you're Dr. Lester, Dr. Lester.
Yeah, you must be losing your mind.
She's suffering from a delusion of being Captain Kirk, Dr. Coleman tells Nurse Chapel, who came in alarmed.
Jeez. And then Coleman even lays it on thicker, though, by explaining to Nurse Chapel that the radiation has been happening.
Made her crazy.
Losing her mind for 6 months.
Yeah, we have to keep her sedated because...
calm her down and have her sleep.
Yep. And
be silent, basically.
And then Kirk sees his reflection, and it's a lady. And then he has a big cool flashback that flashes back to the body swapping. And Kirk says, "Oh no, I've been Freaky Friday."
Yeah, and that shot of Kirk though with the scarf like sweating over the camera is hilarious.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm going to choke you.
And then he does a captain's log as her stardate unknown, still separated from all my crew in a lady's body. Shit's fucked up, I tells you.
Yeah, seriously.
And then he wisely pretends to be Janice when he's talking to Nurse Chapel. He's like, "Hey, I know that Dr. McCoy can't come in here, but do you think I could see Spock?" And Nurse Chapel's like, "I bet you could." This is funny. Nurse Chapel says, "I bet I could arrange for Spock to meet you before we reach Benicia Colony." And she's like, "What? We're not supposed to go to Benicia Colony? The Benicia Colony, but Enterprise is going to rendezvous with the Potemkin at Beta Aguirre. What the hell?" And she's like, "Well, wait, what?" Nurse Chapel is like, "Wait, you're what?
You're asleep this whole time.
That sounds like some Kirk shit." And then she gets a grape drink that supposedly it's like the drink that we drank for the show. It's like a sedative, a moon water, if you will.
Yeah.
And then Bones is going over Kirk's behavior or Kirk's
and this is
charts and shit.
I like this part of the series though when it's just Bones
and Spock chopping it up, trying to figure out the big mystery of the week. Let me see here. Has he already done the examination?
Really no, this is right before.
Yeah. So Spock is saying, I think that if Kirk has an illness, it's mental,
and they need to figure out whether it can spread or not. And Bones is basically under the idea that it's like a virus or like some sort of infection rather than. I mean, no one would ever think of a Freaky Friday situation.
Up until
Spock does his thing.
Fair, yeah, and so then basically they come up with a 2-pronged plan of attack. Bones says, "Spock, why don't you go try and get to Dr. Lester while I examine Jim?" And then Jim comes in, and Kirk has a real attitude. He said, "I will not have you take petty revenge on me with this examination." Like, doesn't she realize that folks are going to think that's fucked up?
Jeez.
And then
all of a sudden, Kirk Lester runs in, and she's like, "Spock, Bones, no, I gotta talk to you real quick. I swear, we just need to talk in private, please, before they knock me out." And then they're walking out into the hallway, and Kirk just karate chops her with his male.
Yeah, with his male physical prowess.
So
he slaps the fucking communicator out of her hand or whatever, and karate chops her right on the neck.
It was like a judo chop from Austin Powers.
And And Bones is like, what were you doing? You might have fucking killed her, dude.
And Kirk was like, she was dangerous. She was a terrorist.
She was,
resisting arrest.
And then he says, lock her up, and no one, and I mean no one, is to talk to her.
Yeah, seriously.
And then Spock immediately goes to try to talk to her.
Yes.
And the security guys are like, Kirk said nobody can get in. And Spock goes, I don't think he meant senior officers. And then now they're doing the boxes.
Yes, we come back to that.
And so the security guy goes in there with Spock, and then it cuts to Kirk doing the medical examination thing where he puts his feet on the boxes and he kicks his little feet. It's leg day at the medical examination. And Bones says your glands are functioning at their normal efficiency. Basically, Kirk gets a clean bill of health, no radiation, etc. And he says you're fine physically.
Yeah.
And then he says there's a test that reveals the basic emotional structure of a person. It's a test further for psychological stuff. The Rabiani dermal optical is crucial. It reveals the basic emotional structure.
What?
You had one once. Basically, they're going to look at his memory engrams and see if they match, right?
Oh, and then with that, we can compare with the previous test.
Yeah. Memory engrams. We know them now as memory engrams.
No, but didn't they do that same thing too, though, with like some wavelength and like lined up both of the wavelengths? Which episode?
I believe those were memory patterns and then once they saw that they were in sync, they knew it was the same person or what have you. And then Spock comes in, and now she's got to convince Spock that she's Kirk, right? And Spock is saying there are no objective tests that are going to prove this, and so of course, eventually, here we go. Spock mind melds with her, right?
Yeah, and
I just kind of want to jump to the end.
Don't you want to find out the truth, Spock? Whether I'm telling the truth or not?
Wouldn't it be logical to try it?
Yeah, tie those loose ends.
And Spock does the mind meld for a few seconds.
Yeah, I'll do the mind meld.
And then he's like, I believe you. But we cannot prove it. Oh, shit.
Fascinating.
Yeah, you should have said that.
My belief is not acceptable as evidence. It's like, dude, can't you fucking be like, enter my Vulcan mind powers into, like, the Federation was built by the Vulcans. They would definitely think that that's good evidence.
Yeah, that's true. But it's just interesting how I love how Spock always tells, like, the way that it is, He's like, all right, I believe you, I trust you, but that's not going to help. So
right?
Let's try to figure this out as soon as possible.
And then Spock's got a Vulcan.
They get Bones next, right?
Well, yeah. So Spock does the Vulcan mind pinch to the security guards, and they run out. And then there's an escape attempt. The bosun's whistle sounds, and then Kirk and Bones show up, and Spock is incapacitating another security officer. And then here we go. This is it. This is where we're going to kick off a legal battle now, because Kirk has Spock and the Doctor arrested, and they are going to be considered the charges of a general court-martial and the charges of mutiny. So basically, Kirk is saying, Spock, you did mutiny. Dr. Lester, you helped him. Y'all are on trial now. Cut to, they're on trial.
Yep, immediately.
But there's a commercial break. You get to go get your Fanta or whatever the fuck, your Jiffy Pop, and then you come back and Spock's sitting on the witness stand, and Spock's like, "I did a mind meld. I know that's not evidence." And Scotty's like, "But that's not evidence." And Spock's like, "I know."
He's like, I don't really have anything else.
Yeah, we need evidence that we can examine out in the open, and Spock says the one who should be interviewed is locked away and in isolation. And so he challenges Captain Kirk to let them interview Dr. Kirk, Dr. Lester, right? And Spock says, "Bring on the witness. Let your officers put the questions." And he's talking. I love how Spock is talking to Kirk like it's not Kirk. Oh, yeah, he's like, "Why don't you let your officers do their fucking jobs like you normally would, asshat?"
Just the way he's sitting, though, too, like the way he's expressing disdain with his arms crossed, like, crunched up. Like, fuck off.
And then a little bit of strategy. While they're bringing Dr. Lester down, Kirk says, while we're here and on the record and whatnot, Bones, why don't you share with the record the results of my physical exam? I had a perfectly good physical exam, didn't I? And Bones says, yep. And Kirk says, and instead of trying to destroy me, you were searching for a way to help me. Dr. McCoy, for the record, will you tell the court your findings? And he says, you're fine.
Yeah, and Spock is just saying he's panicking a little bit because
a Spock version of panic.
Yeah, Spock version of panicking is him logically saying
he says
he's disappointed.
Yeah, he's not worried.
That's right.
He says he's
disappointed.
He's disappointed that he hasn't found any evidence yet. And man, Kirk Shatner is really acting crazy. The security guys show up with Dr. Lester, and here we go. And then Kirk is like, we wanted to not stress you out, but Spock thought I had to drag you down here and interview you.
Yeah, so we need to basically, I don't know, it's kind of this weird face-off where they both have to prove
they
are.
Here's what's stupid about this, and I want to bring it up now before I forget.
Yeah.
They would have a passphrase that only the captain and his officers know. Mm-hmm. So that if anything like this happens or the captain becomes incapacitated, you would have the password. They did it a couple episodes ago.
I was just thinking about that.
Right? So they all
the chess move.
Yes. And so I don't understand why Spock isn't like, hey, because they bring up like the first part of this interrogation is they bring up a bunch of stuff that the Dr. Lester is like, I know all of these missions that we've gone on because I'm Kirk, and they're like, all that stuff is in public record.
Yeah, everybody knows about it. We are the hell ship.
Yep. And then Kirk is having a lot of fun. He's really hamming it up, and he goes, so if you're Kirk, then I'm Dr. Lester. And then she said, I didn't say that. I said the body of James Kirk this is real crowbar separation. Yeah, the body of James Kirk is being used by Dr. Lester, and Dr. Lester is using Dr. Kirk. It's a circuitous logic. And then she explains, she lays it out. She says, look, Dr. Lester violently attacked me. And he goes, oh, you were violently attacked by a woman? A lady attacked her? Tick, tick, tick. What a twat, dude. This guy sucks.
I mean, I love this. I love when Shatner's acting like an asshole because he really does ham it up.
He does indeed. Ham style. And so basically, he says she did this to get the power she craved, to attain a position she doesn't merit by temperament or training. So you can tell he's poking the bear. He's trying to get the Kirk Janice to fucking freak out, right?
Exactly. And it's kind of how Kirk, Janice Kirk before was like, yeah, I left my girl when it got serious because I was a real big piece of shit. Like, they're both kind of putting each other down by putting themselves down. And it's kind of trippy to like hear a reflection of that, like somebody else pretending to be you.
Right?
Playing on your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna sting.
Yeah. Salt in the wound. And then Spock brings up a thing that's like, look, your officers like Chekhov and Sulu here, we've seen all kinds of crazy shit, right? So you can't just dismiss this out of hand as madness or like paranoia or whatever. Like
Sulu saw blades in the sky at one point.
And then Kirk says, as Dr. Lester says, oh yeah, well maybe have you ever heard of a body switch, like a Freaky Friday in the way that Dr. Janice Lester has described? And Spock is like, not precisely, no. And he says, oh, assuming that you are correct in your belief, do you expect Starfleet Command to place this woman in command? Like, we're going to reverse it. Like, it's so fucking funny.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, you think Starfleet Command is going to let a woman command the Enterprise? It's like, nah, we would just go back to the body switcher and flip it.
Yeah, but Spock was like, hey, I only want the truth.
Right? And Kirk gets mad and he says, the truth, you say what the truth is, but the truth is you want her to be made captain. And since she can't be captain, then you will have to be captain. And this is all to make you Captain Spock. And the other crew members are like looking at each other like, Spock definitively does not want to be captain. He says it every morning. He wakes up and goes, I don't want to be the captain of this ship.
Yeah, seriously.
And he's
like, what?
Yep. And he's saying, Dr. Lester will be cared for always. It is a debt and a responsibility I owe her from the past. Because basically he's saying, Spock, you're going to be drummed out of Starfleet. Dr. Lester is going to be fucking kept in a coma. And then Spock lays it out. He says, you are not Captain Kirk, you're Dr. Lester. You violently took over his body. Yeah, your orders are not that of Captain Kirk. You do not belong in charge of the Enterprise, and I shall do everything in my power against you. And there it is.
Whoa.
Because you know what that is. Mutiny, baby.
Yeah, and so then as soon as Spock says that, Kirk gets this awful look on his face. And he's like, play that back, please.
Run that back for me. And then the assistant says, you do not belong in charge of the Enterprise, and I shall do everything in my power against you. And here we go. Kirk says, do you understand the nature of that? And do you stand by it? And I love Kirk's acting. He really gets down.
And he's like, it is mutiny.
Yep. And then he says, you're going to be executed.
It reminds me, too, of, the way he was just screaming and slamming on the table, that other villain that could get the chess move.
Yes.
And the guy was just furious, and so was she, and it's just I don't know, it's all coming out, and the crew is even more like, oh, that's definitely not Kirk.
Right? And there's so much great Kirk faces from episode 38:30, the 38 minutes 30 seconds, and just the looks on his face, vindictive, insane at its face, but mutiny is charged, and you encouraged mutiny. Dr. McCoy, you heard it. On the basis of these statements, he looks around. On the basis of these statements, that's mutiny. You guys heard it. Doing mutiny. We're doing mutiny. Mutiny's here.
What's going on?
And so then they're going to declare a recess and then come back and vote on the mutiny charge, right? And Spock is like, no, we're not doing that. And then Kirk is like, the only evidence here is bullshit. And then what's going to happen between?
Yeah, the only episode's based on it. What did he say? He said the only evidence is based on your words.
Your Vulcan bullshit.
Yeah, and Scotty's like, look, I've seen Kirk fucked up, scared, crazy,
overjoyed, boiling mad.
Yeah, but up until now, I've never seen him, what he says, red-faced with hysteria.
Like a woman. That's what he's saying. Like a woman.
Fucking
So this
weird, considering that he's like, well, my body's gotten taken over once, 2 bones.
Right?
I stabbed a couple of women and we just totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean it's not really a body swap because I didn't swap, but and so this is in the recess before they're going to vote on the mutiny charges, right?
Right.
And Scotty comes up and he's like, "So, how are you thinking about voting?" And basically Scotty is saying, "Hey,
dude,
I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote that it's not Kirk, and I want you to vote with me." And McCoy and Scotty have a very interesting conversation about this, but ultimately Scotty says,
"Up your shot."
No, and it's interesting too that Scotty's kind of just pre-planning this. I mean, it is mutiny.
It is, you know? And he's like, "We're voting for mutiny,"
and he's like, "Look, that's not our issue right now, whether he's sick or not. Our issue right now is whether he can run the ship or not. And we need to get rid of him."
Yep. And it's very much like the 2020 election, because he said, it's so funny because Scotty says, you know, that even if we vote if we vote that yes, that's Kirk inside that lady's body, he's not going to accept it.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna fucking lose it. I tell you, he won't accept it. And Bones is like, I know. And then he says, here we go. Then he says that's the time to move against him. Once he fucking loses it, then we grab him.
Yeah, once he loses his patience as shit.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of interesting though. It gives like a whole finality of it where it's like it's either him or us.
Exactly, right?
We just gotta go with the ship. We have 400 people on here. We gotta protect.
Yep, and it's very cool, I think. And they kind of leave it on an up in the air. He goes, "So how are you going to vote, Doctor?" And Bones goes, "I think I've got it figured out." And then he says, and then they walk in, and whoops, they were being recorded out there in the hallway the whole time. and now here we go talking about mutiny.
Oh, and it's so great though because I just saw 2001 and it was like
right?
how Hal read the astronauts' lips.
Yes,
they got recorded.
Mm-hmm. And Kirk says,
"Even more mutiny. This is bullshit." The sentence, death.
Yeah, Kirk sentences McCoy, Scotty, and Bones to death.
Pretty much the three closest people to
death. And then the other people in the room are like, "That seems fucked up." and then Scotty or Chekhov and fucking Chekhov and Sulu are like, "But nothing's been violated. We can't execute people."
Yeah.
And he says, "Execution will be immediate. Go to your posts."
Go to your post. He goes full dictator mode.
Right?
And everyone's like, why? You can't just kill people like this. Oh my gosh, it's so weird. And this is a funny interaction too between Sulu and Chekhov, where they're like, man, he must be going crazy if he thinks he can just kill people.
And Chekhov's like, that's not the captain.
Yeah, and he's like, look, if we're going to let them are we just going to let them execute people? And it's like, if security gets in the way, are we going to fight back? Or if security makes a stand, are we going to fight?
How can they fight security? And Sulu says, with anything we can find.
Yes.
With anything we can find.
So they basically have spread the mutiny because of this news of the execution. I mean, it's like, think of the 3 senior officers, I don't know, just on any ship, just like getting executed suddenly. Just because their captain had a terrible day. It's like, oh, this is weird.
And Kirk is clearly losing it. He's all sweaty, and he's like, you'll be charged with mutiny too. Mutiny, mutiny, mutiny. And I like how the lady who is the assistant that read that played the tapes back all the time, she's in there. And then
she's a comms officer.
Right? And then while Kirk is angry, their bodies switch back momentarily. And it's like, oh, what?
Yeah, and Kirk's acting so great. He's like closing his eyes and like jerking his arms, and he's like, whoa, whoa.
Very good. And then it's Spock, Scotty, Bones, and Dr. Coleman or Janice Lester with Kirk inside of her, and she's like, I thought I was on the bridge for a moment, and then they're finding out that there's limits to the body swapping. It hasn't exactly like finished up yet, and so now they're worried that like, well, it'll make it permanent if Dr. Lester dies, right?
Yeah.
And so Kirk can't get anybody to follow his orders. And then Kirk just runs to Coleman and is like, the transparents have fallen apart.
Yeah, he leaves the bridge immediately and runs directly to Coleman.
And he says, you have to kill Janice Lester now.
Yeah, and Kirk is like, Kurt Lester is like, I can't. The crew's in mutiny. Like, I got all of my shit fucked up. Can you please kill her for me?
Yep. And he says, I have done everything else for you, but I will not murder for you.
And I was like, whoa.
And then she goes, so do you really have any choice? I mean, you're a murderer too. I'm found out to be a murderer. We're all murderers. And he goes, all right, I'll help you. So he puts together a murder shot.
Murders.
He puts together a murder shot, and I kind of thought that he was going to inject Kirk with it.
Yeah, but crazy.
Coleman and Kirk go down, and they're like, Janice, get out of that cell. We're going to separate you. And then she fights to get out. And then during the fight, they swap back with a great effect of an overlay of them earlier. And she says, I've lost to James Kirk. I want you dead. And he just easily overpowers her and takes the shot away from her.
Yeah, and it's really...
She's all red-faced and hysterical, you know?
It's giving when the Wicked Witch gets water. And
yes.
Like,
yes.
Like, oh my God, she almost took over the Enterprise,
and she just wants to die.
She's like, damn it, I fucked up. I don't want to die.
So here's what's fucked up. He says, can you do it? Kirk says to Coleman, can you do anything for her? And Coleman says, yes, I'd like to take care of her. But But wait, they're murderers.
Yeah, right.
So they're just taken away. They don't talk about. So it's cool that they murder. Yeah, they don't talk about any of that shit. It's just cool that they did murders to their other science officers.
But, I mean, as far as the crew knows, they only know that they died because of some fucked up radiation that they went through. You know?
Yeah, and it's like Dr. Cole. Wow, so they're just gonna go be villains now. That's a good story.
Hey, and they can come back. Like, what's it called? What's his name? He's in the second one.
I don't know.
The second Star Trek.
Khan. Yes.
That'd be funny.
Bring him back. Now, then, at the end, everything is fine.
Yes.
And it cuts to the Enterprise flying into a nebula. This is all HD remastered, right?
Gorgeous.
And I read it like that thing on IMDb that said this was to symbolize the end of the series. And it's like, look, I mean, it looks pretty cool. Like they're flying into a nebula. It's a great shot of the Enterprise executive producer, Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the end of Star Trek, the original series. So there you go. That's the series.
Yeah, and it ends with this big shot of Picard's face, too, so you're already ready for the next series.
Yeah, they got the thumbnail they're like, now just roll right into Next Generation. Yeah. All right. So I have a couple things that I want to say about this episode here.
Okay, yeah,
my don't forget to mentions. I love when Spock is like, Dr. McCoy, we're in shaky waters here, like because they have to go over, they got to pull one over on Kirk, right? Like shaky waters, like trying to take the command from the captain because he's mentally unfit. He's like, we're in shaky waters here, and like, motherfucker, this has happened half a dozen times before. Kirk's been emotionally unstable for so many other reasons where they've also had to do an examination. Like that's pretty boilerplate. We're on the I'm a senior officer on the Enterprise shit.
Yeah, seriously.
Bones says that when he tests Kirk after the body swap, he says all of Kirk's tests are in the pink. Ugh, that's gross.
Per usual.
Yeah, I'm glad they're not in the stink. And why the fuck don't the captains have a code phrase with their staff? They clearly would. Scotty, yeah. I like how Scotty fights to get Bones to vote against Kirk by telling him Spock is free, and he's like, "What do you think the captain will do? Like what do you think the captain's gonna fucking do when Oh,
it's just so awkward though. I think that's one of my favorite scenes though from like the season.
I liked it.
Their whole interaction of like, oh shit, is this really happening? Like he can't not be Kirk. Obviously he isn't Kirk. But it's like they have no idea how to swap them back. Right? They're just fucked.
Yeah, and then they end up swapping them back by fighting and exertion. They hadn't quite melded together yet. I don't know why they didn't just turn around and go back to the planet where the technology was.
I was gonna say maybe the good twist would have been like, or not twist, but Gene Roddenberry thing would be like, we'll keep you alive and we'll send some Starfleet people and record your device thing.
Yeah, we'll say we'll keep you there. You can keep studying the technology. And then I didn't like how they were just going to let the murderers go free. And then, of course, the big question is she really is like the victim of sexism in the sense that that's what triggers her madness. But it's also like the implication that women all want to just have power like men. Mm-hmm. They really did, like, red-faced with hysteria.
That was a little harsh.
I liked it. I mean, I thought that it was heavy-handed, but I enjoyed it. What did you think? I
thought this was a very solid episode to end on. I mean, I guess if they had to pick one, and especially for weeks later. Maybe they were kind of, like I told Adam before the episode, I was like, the plot's weak, right? Like, it's just like a Freaky Friday thing, and it's fun, because people are trying to figure out who did what. But it's like, they boosted up with the acting. The guest actors both did a great job.
Yeah.
And then we have the whole court scene, security, Spock doing the mind melt, Spock being like, no, I'm going to, like, having that huge monologue of, like, I'm going to do everything in my power to stop you, like, that all made the episode way better. And I think it was just the fact that the writing just got so good at the end that they were just like, oh, we can't have we can't end this in some sci-fi shit. Like they just have to be stressed out and like we got to switch them back. Like this is too much.
We can't. Yeah, and
a twofer, in modern day.
Well, it definitely would have been because they would have done the trial as one episode.
For sure.
So fucking good analysis.
What was I gonna say? How many those wall devices out of 5 you think we should do?
I would say I'm gonna give this a 4. A four body switching machines.
Yeah, four body Lester swaps.
Right? And solid episode.
I thought it was really good too. I think it's one that people should watch just for like the sake of Shatner hamming it up and stuff. It's
great.
Spock being very, very serious.
Definitely a highlight of the season.
I guess the one thing is like, it's just because it's series finale and stuff. It's like you want to see everybody shine at the end. Like Uhura wasn't there,
right?
Like I guess Sulu and
check out. They got their beats, but one funny thing is I never have looked at the IMDb trivia or whatever, and one of the things is there's a goof where Lieutenant Galloway appears in this episode despite being killed a year earlier in the Omega Glory.
Oh my gosh.
And then also Doctor, the quotes. Doctor, I've seen the captain feverish, sick, drunk, delirious, terrified, overjoyed, boiling mad, but up to now I have never seen him red-faced with hysteria like a woman. But yeah, so that was good. Star Trek, the original series. And this I looked up before we started recording. This is episode 90 of the podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
We're 10 away.
10 away from a hundo.
This is 90.
This is 90, yes. Cool. As the people are listening to it in their ears now.
Yes.
And
that was nuts, though. I don't know. It was like such a simple episode.
I dig it. It took place on the Enterprise. It had a trial. It had multiple trials. Yeah. The first trial was for one thing, and then they mutiny, and then he's going to execute them.
And he's like, there's mutiny everywhere. Just execute them all.
Just execute everybody I'm pointing at. Right. Execute these folks over here.
It's like that chick, or the evil queen, from Alice in Wonderland. Like, off with your heads.
Yes.
Like,
very much.
Shut up.
Very much Red Queen style.
Yeah, it was weird.
And so there you have it. That's and so we're gonna do So I think the next episode that we do will either be Star Trek. It'll probably be like a season recap.
Okay.
So and then we'll decide what to do from there. But that's that. What do you have to recommend to folks this week, Al?
Actually, I got 2 albums here.
Lay it on us, buddy.
There's one called from Virtual Riot. It's called Stealing Fire. It's like really good electronic music. It's pretty intense the first half, but then the second leg's like a little more laid back house and stuff. So it's pretty good, or very good. And then there's another one too called this artist called Caribou. The album's called Honey. It's garage music, like house, soft like ambient synthesizer stuff. He does a lot of cool things with like vocal samples and like reusing them, and like he detunes one vocal sample and that's like a whole other song, and he just like riffs off of that whole idea.
Whoa.
And then like the original is like, it's crazy. It's like all kind of, it's a trick that a lot of people do to like make albums sound cohesive, right? Like to use drum kit or to use same synths. Like he's like kind of putting it all together, but making it more apparent, I guess. So yeah, Virtual Riot though is like just the fucking plethora of just all these fucking noises and stuff. Like all of his projects have like 120, 150 tracks, and it's just like madness. So
wow,
it's like, those are 2 very different, albums
experiences. Yeah.
It's like Caribou's more minimalistic. Like he like carves out like a lot of his sounds, and like you could hear him like give it enough space, right? Whereas Virtual Riot's like very maximalist, where it's like every single second has
everything
like
happening.
It's very intense. So,
right on.
Just listening those 2 back to back is very good. Caribou Honey, Virtual Riot, Stealing Fire.
Cool.
So, pretty good.
Listen to some music, dummies. And then for me, my wife and I watched the first 3 episodes of the new season of What We Do in Shadows.
Oh yeah.
And it's really fucking good. I think that I felt like they kind of drifted away from what I liked about the series in the most recent season, last season. But I think that they've kind of righted the ship and reset things to like back to basics, and it works. It's real good. So What We Do in Shadows is my recommendation for today. And next week, come on back. We'll be doing our Star Trek, the original series, season 3 recap.
Yep.
And we'll see you then. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.
Peace. Oh wait, is it this one? Which one is it?
Bye. Trek in the Valley is executive produced by Adam Ordall Quinnell and Al Hirt. Theme song by Al Hirt. Recorded by Adam, mixed and edited by Al. Check the show notes for our socials, and you can email the pod at trekinthevalley, all one word, @gmail.com. Like, subscribe, review, and always explore strange new fucking worlds.